I'm gonna say it like it is. Very much so emotionally immature air sign. I want you to acknowledge that everything they put you through, they have also put other people through. Okay? Their karma is going to be not being able to expand or move any further in life. Okay? Somebody that's extremely obsessed with cars. I don't know why Chicken Alfredo came up in the reading, but I want you to acknowledge that they avoid conflict, but they're the ones that create the conflict, right? Just letting you know, you are not emotionally attached to them, but you do think about them in the most random parts of the day. So let's dive in. Don't make the reading fit if it does not fit. We're diving into today's reading just with whatever happened with your person. If that part matched, stay. If it doesn't, move on. A better reading will always find you. Don't try to make the reading fit. But the fact that we have the devil right here, specifically from your energy, you might be too much in your mind about the situation. Okay? You just have to breathe. And it kind of annoys you because I'm specifically feeling like they show up into your mind in the most random times, and it kind of annoys you because you don't want that happening, right? Exactly. You don't really want that happening, with the Nine of Cups specifically being right here in reverse. Dissatisfaction. So where things ended between you and your person were completely dissatisfying, okay? And specifically, no movement from them. Knight of Pentacles. No movement from them when you guys were actually in a relationship. I want you to acknowledge that the fact that we have the Knight of Pentacles as an underlying energy for your reading, it's a person that does not even hold structure in their reality as well. Okay, and I specifically want you to acknowledge that. With the Nine of Cups being right here and the Nine of Swords, the emotional part is over. What does that mean? It specifically means that with the Nine of Swords being right here in reverse and the Devil, you no longer feel emotionally attached to them, right? And if you do feel emotionally attached to them, these emotions are emotions of dissatisfaction. No te sientes bien cuando piensas de ellos, right? Meaning that if you do think of them, it kind of gives you the ick. It basically kind of bothers you because why in the world are you still on my mind? Why in the world can I let you go if you were actually a very much so toxic part of my reality with the Devil, right? And not even only with the Devil, but I specifically want you to acknowledge that the Devil can actually also be their energy. What does that mean? It means that with the Knight of Pentacles being right here in reverse and with the Devil actually being right here, this person is extremely toxic. And not toxic in a way of pushing it towards you. Like, they do toxic things that keep them stuck. They do toxic things that hold them down in their reality, right? And like I'm telling you, you no longer want anything to do with that energy. So with the Nine of Cups, you specifically ask yourself, why is it that I don't want anything to do with you, but you come up in my mind? Why is it that I don't want anything to do with you, but you bug me in the most weirdest ways, right? And maybe even you had a dream about them in the last few days or the last few weeks, with the Nine of Swords being right here in reverse. I want you to acknowledge that with the Strength and with the Devil being right on top of it, this person is going through karmic cycles, right? And karmic cycles are basically messing up their stability, or that they're basically trying to find it really, really hard to gain stability. I don't know why I personally feel like they wasted your time, right? Like, they didn't want to give you a right answer on what you guys were. And I honestly feel like you're not the only person that specifically they have done that to. Le han hecho eso a otras personas, right? So those are the things that are basically coming out as an underlying energy with the Ten of Pentacles right here. We also have the Seven of Cups, and then we also have the Six of Swords. Not only are they super delusional when it comes down to the things of talking about their future, they're super delusional when it comes down to just things about them. Right? I don't know, I'm specifically feeling that with the Devil, with the Seven of Cups, and with the Strength being right here in reverse, this person has a lot of healing to do, and you thought that you were supposed to be the one to heal them. I don't know, I'm specifically feeling somebody that is obsessed with cars, right? That could be you, that could be them, right? But I'm telling you, and with the Six of Swords, it's like they walk away from situations even before resolving them with the Devil and with the Six of Swords. So they're carrying a lot of baggage, right? I want you to acknowledge that the fact that we have this reading showing up like this, to me, it means that they bled on you. ¿Qué significa eso? It means all the wounds, all the hurt that they have been through in their past, because I'm specifically feeling like they still hold on to past emotions, they pass it on to you. And we have to break that cycle at this moment in time. Okay? Because no, you cannot be like them. You're not going to turn out like them. To me, it honestly feels like you could have actually met with somebody else after the connection ended, and you and that person just didn't click. And if that happened, it could have happened to them as well. Right? Look, I want you to acknowledge that you are walking away, and you're specifically walking away because you need to heal and you need to grow. Right? And that's one thing that they're specifically not doing. With the Devil, with the Strength, with the Seven of Cups, and with the Six of Swords, they don't acknowledge emotions, and they basically bled on you. You specifically know what I mean. I also want you to know that with the Ten of Pentacles, there's so much underlying destruction that's coming from them. Not only are they really careless with their money, they specifically are so selfish to the point they don't care who they hurt in the future. Or they specifically don't care who gets hurt in their reality because they're not getting hurt, right? But I specifically want you to acknowledge that they're basically going through everything. With the Three of Cups being right here in reverse, you could have lost some friends because of them, or they could have basically made your friends, some of your friends turn around because of them. What does that specifically mean? It means that basically you lost friends because they started talking bad about you, right? But they were self-reflecting. Everything bad that they said about you, it was actually what they were going through. You get it? I also want you to acknowledge that maybe they could have been talking to other people. Maybe you found a few messages, but the people that they were trying to talk to basically ignored them with the Six of Swords and the Seven of Cups. And that's where the delusion is coming in of them thinking that they're better when they're specifically not, right? And I'm specifically sensing a very high ego person, right? But somebody that's obsessed with cards, and I don't know why Chicken Alfredo just came up. Right now, this person thinks that they can avoid conflict. No, you cannot avoid conflict. No, you cannot avoid your emotions. Karma is gonna bite you in the butt for everything that you did and for everybody that you put hardships through. As simple as that. And that's gonna happen through their finances. That's gonna happen through their stability. And I want you to acknowledge that. I want you to know that. I do specifically feel that with the Queen of Swords, they have actually set a standard for you. What does that mean? It means that when you came out of this relationship, you asked yourself, I'm not gonna look for a bum ever again. So honestamente, esa es la última vez que alguien me trata así. Right? And like I'm telling you, I personally feel like they don't even have problems with you. They have problems with multiple people, and that's going to be their karmic repercussions. Meaning that it's going to be really hard for them to build stability within themselves because of everything they have done before, and it's gonna affect their expansion, and it's gonna affect their stability to be able to create something. You see this right here? They're very much so emotionally mature. They're very much so emotionally controlling, and they could have had manipulative tactics to basically keep you where you were, right? So like I'm telling you, you're not the only person they did wrong, and the universe is gonna bite them big time in las nalgas. Cuídate.